Welcome. My name is Donna McCarthy, and we are playing the Sorcerer RPG with the Gauntlets. We are setting this game in the 1980s in the Silicon Valley, or at least the startings of Silicon Valley. And let's get a quick intro from our players. Let's start with Brian and hear about his Sorcerer and his Demon.
Yeah, so I'm playing Ramsey Rowan. I'm in my mid-20s. I dropped out of one semester at, we'll say Stanford. And I've been in the Valley ever since, founding companies, selling companies, and having companies not turn out so well. I got interested in tech and by extension sorcery when I was introduced to a tabletop role-playing game. And my DM sort of showed me a different type of world where I could see the attributes of pretty much anything I wanted to. And that's what's really gotten me excited about taking people like that and bringing them together to make magical things happen. I have just come off of a rather disappointing venture, and I'm really looking forward to doing something that is both fruitful for the people, it provides something for people who consume it, a product that is fun, but also pushes the envelope on, all of humanity.
And what is Ramsey's demon like?
What demon? So I'm in denial. I don't admit that DM Mastus is a thing. He or she has many faces, and it's easy for me to convince myself that my previous successes weren't the result of a good relationship with DM Mastus, and that my failures weren't a cause of me intention with it. But that's the actual case. It is a possessor. It finds its way into the bodies of the people around me. I could tell if I was willing to admit it to myself that the echoey voices that I hear in the possessed and them shouting out statistics about the reality around them is a good tell. But I sort of brush that off. If you guys have seen what's the name of that? The Haunting of Hill House, whatever that Netflix was that came out a few weeks ago. The guy who is the author is pretty much me in this regard. Not willing to admit that there's anything going on at all.
Great. Del, how about your Sorcerer and his demon?
Okay, so my guy is Gregory Kowalczyk, and he's a huge Apple fanboy. Was in particular, owns an original Woz edition Apple. And he's still in college, but he's been attending less and less, and is in serious danger of failing outright, because he's been dedicating all his time to his game design. He's also a BBS operator, which eats up a decent amount of time. He came across some interesting books on occultism, and buried in some BBS library somewhere. Which approach magic from a logic and math point of view. To him, magic, it's very real. He's not in denial. But it's all just math. It's just a math most people don't understand. And he is special in that he does understand it. His demon is a early era portable computer, an Osborne 1, and he has nicknamed it Ozzy, after one of his favorite heavy metal glam rock singers, Ozzy Osbourne. And he's not in denial about it either. He actually managed to find a demon on the net and bind it into his local computer. although it got some power over him at the same time. And its desire is mischief. Probably through his game design, causing problems for people who play his games.
Cool. Tyler, how about your sorcerer and their demon?
Hi there, I'm Tyler, and I'm playing Blake Gannon. He's tall, thin, mid-20s, has a ponytail. He has a little bit of a rat-like appearance, kind of that pointy face. He is a comic book illustrator, and along with that, illustrates some games and things like that. Freelance completely. He's huge fan of like Neil Gaiman and of the like what Image is starting to be for comic books. He has he sort of started off drawing in his youth. Went and did some art school, but what he was drawing was so edgy sort of for them that these teachers thought it was terrible. And eventually he left to start doing, to do freelance work. But when he was in the process of drawing something, it started to become real for him. This image of this dog began to just play on his mind, and he was dreaming about it, and he was putting such detail into it. And one day, the drawing itself began to crawl up his arms and across his back, searing into him and leaving symbols across like burn marks in his arms and his back. And that's when Skarsnik stepped out, his demonic dog. Skarsnik is a large dog, Doberman sized, but with kind of longer hair, has red eyes. When the light hits him appropriately, Skarsnik is passing, so it doesn't have he doesn't have glowing red eyes, but they're definitely red when the light hits it right. And if someone paid attention, they'd see fairly spurs at the base of his paws. Skarsnik is a hunter by nature, likes to chase, likes to kill, and sort of revels in the mayhem of the destruction and murder he can cause. But generally speaking, Blake has a good hold on him and keeps him from getting too far out of hand. Skarsnik is also able to affect light around him, make things brighter, make things darker, and has an amazing nose, as a good dog does, as well as being fairly tough. And kind of as my kicker here, just recently, Skarsnik did slit the leash a bit, and I had to drive out into the woods to bury the poor unfortunate gentleman that happened to cross his path one night.
Gruesome. Does Skarsnik just murder for the hell of it? No pun intended. Or does it feed? Does it consume?
He does. He will eat and maul his prey, but generally, if someone approaches Skarsnik and wants to pet him, Skarsnik is surprisingly friendly for people. That likes his ear scratch sort of thing. But if someone starts to run, Skarsnik has a real problem with not chasing them.
Okay, great. Given that you're mentioning kickers, let's go back to Dell and find out what Val's kicker is. The thing that's gotten you're real riled up right now.
Okay, so he in college he met this girl that he had a huge crush on. And although I normally hate this term, was sort of friend zoned by, right, like good friends, but she didn't think of him that way. And she recently recently died in a horrific car accident. And that's just crushed him. And he's sort of lost even though he never admitted her feelings for. That's part of the problem. He never admitted his feelings towards her to her. And now he's missed his chance forever, or maybe not in a world of magic.
There'll be a spin-off game of Dead Friend next week. Okay, great. And Brian, what is Rowan or Ramsey's kicker?
So the company before this one was going moderately well. You know, every day is a tough day when you're kind of close to the metal and close to the end of the money. But I was in a rather intense disagreement with one of my co-founders about the direction we were going and whether we should double down on that or pivot. And the name of the company is Hopsoft, by the way. And my Hopsoft co-founder just exploded, and I don't mean like in anger. He just exploded. And the police said it's something that occasionally occurs naturally, but it was pretty scarring, and it did make me revisit some of the ideas I've had about some coincidences that have been going on.
Okay, so I'm thinking we can have you all at a funeral. I'm happy to have it either be the college crush or the co-founder of Hopsoft. If we can all explain how you are at this funeral or in the vicinity. Maybe Tyler, you can head up first because you know one of those two people is not in your character's background. So which one of those two do you think most fitting that you'd be at?
I could go for either one of them depending on kind of the tone or feel we want. I like the idea of maybe the co-founder, the partner there. Maybe I've done freelance work. It's kind of a, you know, maybe I've done work for some of the like game design, the box pictures or something like that. So it'd be kind of a professional feel in that case. For the other, it could be that, you know, it was someone I knew from college as well, maybe even had some sort of relationship with. So then we could have a bit of a jealousy thing going on. But I could go with either one. But I think that the partner and the, you know, doing work for is probably I think that's a good one.
Right. Just an idea to throw out there, and feel free to ignore me. But maybe they were related. Maybe the crush is the founder's sister, and something's up with his family. That 2 weeks ago she dies in this horrific car accident, and just a few days ago he blows up. the weird coincidences. The dum foreboding. The
a neat idea.
Yeah. I like keeping things tight in a two shot. Okay. So the founder, I think, makes more sense if it's the more recent one for you to be at, right? Okay. Okay. So, what's Ramsey doing at this? I think maybe it's coming to the end of the service. Obviously, it's a beautiful day in California, as always.
One day it would be nice to have some rain today, but no.
I'm sure people would accuse us of trying to tug on people's heartstrings if we had rain at a funeral. It's just too cheesy. The sun never surrenders its grip on California. So what's the relationship like between Ramsey and kind of any of the other family or friends who were here? They probably knew that you were with him when he died.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mostly dodge the family and friends. I mean, I don't like the company's going to be liquidated. Like we like, as with all of my companies, I am not the technical expertise. Like I understand enough, and I get little insights, and then I rush and then have other people actuate on it. And so, in this case, I'm looking at the family and friends, and I pay my condolences, say a beautiful eulogy, describing how they were destined for great things. I'm pretty good when it comes to speaking in public. I can see myself down the road shooting for something like that, but I'm not spending any more time than is due. I'm actually already focused internally almost exclusively on my next project. Like I don't know where it is, but it's the only thing that's on my mind right now.
So I guess when you see the others, what are you surprised to see them here? Did you know that they were all connected?
That actually brings up a good question. Do I know? I think I know at least one of you. I don't know that I know Blake. I think I'm an admirer, but I don't think I know you personally. I think I know your style, right? Like I'm into most of these nerdy hobbies. It's like my Valve and also my creator font. So I think I know you, but I don't think I know you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you might have seen my name come across if I've worked for the company. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of my reason for being there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, because you would have done freelance work. Never mind then. Yeah, no, I think I do. I think I do know you if you've done freelance work for us. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, no, I think that in that case, Blake being here is a good thing. I'm viewing it as retaining talent. Like if he cared enough to show up for this, it's like maybe he's still good. And then the question is now, do I know Dell at this or
Gregory or Wall.
yeah, Wall at this point? And I think that's an open question for you all.
I think you do. I think you've been reaching out to me to sign up with your company. What was it?
Hopsoft, yeah.
Yeah, Hopsoft. I was planning on publishing independent. But you see a lot of potential, and you were trying to pressure me into publishing with Hopsoft. And now that's kind of out of the question. Because like you said, it's probably going to get liquidated at this point. Does that sound cool or?
Yeah, for sure. I think what Hopsoft was really interested in was in a totally new platform. Like we're gonna do it real deep in the hardware. But now I'm thinking, okay, well, we've lost that guy. So possibly maybe we can just salvage what we can. And I think, okay, I see the two of you at different points, and I'm trying to figure out how I get the three of us together in my mind, trying to like navigate. And I don't know, do you two do know each other or do not?
Have we moved away from? I know we did, and dealt like since you've hopped in very nicely here late. Did we move away from the idea that we all know each other and know we're all sorcerers? Because we had done that in kind of our initial brainstorm bit. I'm asking it. That's fine either way. Donna? What are you thinking there?
I mean, I can see it both ways. You know, the active sorcerers in this part of the world are so small that you know, you must know or be able to tell, right? There's telltales that you can tell that someone is a sorcerer. So it seems odd that you would, you know, have been in each other's social circles and then not realize that you're sorcerers. You know, or maybe there's just a lot of weird people in California in the '80s, and you know, who
There
knows
are a
what
lot of
anything
people
means.
in
Yeah.
California.
Right.
One possibility could be, and feel free to shoot this down, that you two are familiar with each other as sorcerers, but because I'm in denial, I only view you as assets for a company. And so I'm trying to get you together, but you're not necessarily, you're just viewing each other as much more than I can perceive. So that's an option.
No, I like that. Like we're a little hesitant to work together because we're both sorcerers and we know it. But you're completely oblivious to that friction.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'll go up to Wall and say, Wall, Jim was one of the greatest embedded programmers I've ever met, but with him gone, I don't know what the future is for Hopsoft, and I want to know that you can still bring your talents to the vision that we had together. Does that sound like something that could happen?
As is usual for him, he looks very uncomfortable. That somebody's talking to him. He's a very stereotypical basement nerd. Well, I'm still working. And I came up with a name of Dragonarchy, the combination of dragon and anarchy. Dragonarchy.
Yeah.
I still want to see it published, and and like you were talking, a big outfit like Hopsoft could have helped get it more exposure, more than I could, sell it in the back of Byte magazine, and he looks over at the coffin. It might be a little inappropriate to talk about it here, but but it's definitely something I'm still willing to talk about.
I've got you. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. The investors are pulling out. With him gone, it's touch and go pretty much every moment. But I have an idea. If we can take your technical expertise and the ideas you have that I've seen you have for this game in terms of interaction, in terms of player experience, we can couple them to some music or some maybe some writing, some art, something that we can really catch people with. Like I want people to feel from the moment they encounter it, this is something going to push them into a new realm. Does that sound good? Oh, you're muted, I think, maybe.
Did we lose you, Dan?
Oh, sorry, I was talking to a mute button. I apologize. No,
there was a dramatic silence.
Totally. I'm on board with that. I mean, the game's the heart of it, obviously. But you gotta get eyes, and like Atari did that comic tie-in for theirs. Something like that would be great, awesome. Hook the kids in the Saturday morning cartoon or something.
So at this point, I'm actually kind of like let me just say something fast. It seems like Wall is probably like the sort of, now it's antisocial, but like less than social sort, because he's more technical, more experienced. Is that correct? I think you mean,
no, totally. Like he'll talk your ear off about the subjects he's super interested in. Like he won't shut the hell up, right? But if it veers away from any of those subjects, he gets really uncomfortable and not social at all.
So I'm gonna get him I'm gonna try to get you to start talking about anything technical. And meanwhile, I'm just gonna start guiding us around in the midst of the funeral, because you're not paying attention when you're talking, right? Like you're just going with it.
No, he's totally oblivious.
Basically just run us in by accident to Blake in the middle. And like what I'm hoping is that at the exact moment that we encounter Blake, you're discussing like the ability for crazy amounts of visuals to be rendered in this game, and how it's going to blow everyone's mind. I don't know if I can get you there, but if it's something it seems like it's possible, I'd like to be just on that cusp.
No. Like he'll go on about how he's positive he's got the graphics down, right? The technical side of how to code them, but he's got to be honest. Like he doesn't really think visually. He needs some help in what looks cool on a screen. Like he knows, and he'll like name drop names I don't actually know as a person. Of like famous art directors in the video game circles. We need somebody like that to really give us a vision. Totally leading into the Blake, advantages there.
Yeah, I think I won't even. Blake, how much have we spoken before?
I imagine that I would have been able to tell you were a sorcerer, and so I probably limited us to, I come in and show my stuff and get my check and kind of avoid especially since you've not made any mention whatsoever that we're both like that. So, you know, I probably have been like, okay, something's up with this guy. I'm gonna keep my a little distance. So as you're coming up, I imagine you see me at Scarsnick will probably. This is an outdoor funeral, or are we in a funeral home? You think?
I think outdoors. But obviously, you know, closed casket with the whole exploding thing.
Yeah. What they had left, they just sort of put in a bag and shoved it in the coffin. But I, you know, Skarsnik would have been waiting outside for me. So I've got my dog beside me, and as y'all are coming up, he probably will whine in my direction as I look up and see the two of you and see that it's not just you, but also that Wall's there. And I'm probably not thinking that y'all are coming to talk to me about like computer work. I'm probably thinking, oh hell, we've had a guy explode. Here come two sorcerers. This is going to be. So I look up and Wall, Ramsey.
So I think at this exact point, I finished asking a question about like if the vision can be maintained, and I kind of turn to Blake, and I'm like, speaking of vision, and I kind of give you like my I've just encountered money smile, and I think I interpret Blake's reticence to like engage with me a lot as like a you know, just like the very similar to Wall, like someone who's really creative and just doesn't quite get social interaction, even though I feel like Blake is probably totally fine when he's dealing with non-sorcerers. So I'll say speaking of vision, and I'll ask if Blake, you could provide some insight into some ideas we have. Like we're looking for someone who understands what it means to put soul into a computer, like as if you would on a printed page.
And again, still got that disconnect. Look over at Wall. Really, that's the work you're wanting to do now, Wall? We're putting souls into computers?
And I say, oh, metaphorically, of course. And I'm talking this language, this sort of Silicon Valley talk, and you're talking actual soul.
Right.
But I start talking about, yeah, like you really want to get like the beating heart of humanity represented visually on the screen. I want the pixels to just come forth and engage the eyes in such a beautiful
a game. Well, yeah. I mean, that could be very interesting. I know that video is working a lot better. I've had some ideas. I've had some thoughts about stills into wipes, things that look like the animation is actually happening, but can be rendered much easier.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this, and I think I turn to Wall and I say, Wall, this is exactly what we're talking about. Or like this type of vision is what we want to represent in your game. Imagine the synthesis of the two. What do you think?
And I'm probably like cocking my eye a little at Wall because wouldn't have expected you to be there and thinking this is weird.
Yeah,
what is
like worlds colliding here, right? When you talk about your idea of like pre-rendering and things like that, he's like mouth throws was like, I wouldn't have even thought of that. I'm so focused on the gameplay and inside of it, but he starts going off about the technical differences and like what platform would be your preference. I mean, he's been coding so far for an Apple IIe, but he'd totally be willing to switch platforms. And he's mostly oblivious to the misunderstandings that are happening between you two. He knows both of you are sorcerers, but that's like the last thing on his mind at the moment. Like he's not even thinking about it, right? That's unimportant in the scheme of things. The game's the thing.
Yeah,
So I fall into the conversation happily, enough. Though at the same time, again, there's that weird disconnect of, okay, the three of us here, and we're talking about something so mundane. Because I don't think that Blake has that same level of, oh, game, game. The art really excites him. The actual game of it is just a medium for him to put awesome art up.
Right.
But yeah, he falls right into the conversation.
So maybe as people are starting to drift away and you're still kind of in this intense technical discussion, you're approached. I think Ramsey is specifically approached, but by this young, serious-looking woman in a off-the-rack suit, carrying kind of a briefcase. Mr. Rowan.
I think I half turn towards her, but I keep an eye. Like, I am so focused on main, because I can sense the tension. I'm good. I'm pretty good at that. I can sense the tension going on here, and I'm just so determined for this not to fall apart. So I give her exactly half of my attention.
Okay.
I say,
I'm representing the estate of Jim Stevenson, your late partner with Hopsoft. There's some items in the will which would go to you.
Yeah. So I think I was about to brush her off and to ask her to speak to my lawyers. But at the mention of the will, there's a little bit of a piqued interest. And I think I make like I'm going to walk away and excuse myself for a minute. But what I end up doing is kind of like suggest, like giving almost like a wink to both of them, saying like, we're on the same page about everything. Like here we are, three guys making the future of electronic entertainment. We can all hear whatever windfall is coming my way. And so I ask her, what specifically?
Well, obviously the debts of the company have eaten up anything.
Okay, I didn't want them to hear that part.
Most anything, but there are some artifacts or items of dubious worth, but obviously of technical interest that are in storage, or have been taken out of storage, or at the house, which are yours. She kind of opens the briefcase, kind of trying to open it with, and then takes out like a clipboard that has kind of an inventory, and hands it to you. So lots of like really old computer stuff, like historic punch cards from way back in the 40s. And then there's some like design specifications of early computers, these things that take up the whole room. There's like loads of what the lawyers in their wisdom have classified as worthless junk.
So yeah, I think I'm fairly excited by the prospect, and I'm kind of eager because she's given me the address, and which I know, right? And she's given me an itemized list, which I see some things I want on, and I kind of hand the list over to Wall, and kind of like almost as a kind of gift, like. Who knows how much of that tech is way outdated? But I'm like, oh, look at this. Maybe we can use some of this. And then I'm going to ask her, is there anything I need to sign, or can I just go ahead and pick it up?
Yeah. She kind of looks uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to go to the house. She has a signature sheet for you to sign, and she kind of looks as if she knows she's doing something she shouldn't. She is about to give you the key.
I'm completely oblivious and just kind of like snatch the key, and I'm like, oh, thank you, miss. And I'm just signing it, not reading anything that's on this paper.
Okay.
and if I got that key, I'm turning back towards my two collaborators.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of takes the out. She doesn't have to explain her professional misconduct, and she just gives you a business card. Her name is Jessica Markham. She works in a pretty small law firm, but is obviously like, I don't know, several months out of law school or something like that. She's not very important over there to get stuck with this kind of job.
Yeah, so I thank Mrs. Markham and turn back to Wall and say, Wall, do you see anything on there that you want? I think this is an opportunity maybe to boost our inventory at a company we shall name shortly. Project Draganarchy, right? Draganarchy. What? Hold on. As an aside, what is that the name of the game? We do need a company name for it, right?
Right.
Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of mutter to myself the moment I realize we don't have a company name as I'm trying to come up with something.
Okay. The
I as this is going on, my ears sort of perked, especially when she said like artifacts, and then I see that it's a bunch of computer stuff, and I'm like, and but if again, like, this is funeral, so casket going into grave, is that occurring? Are they lowering in the casket now?
Yeah, maybe maybe it is roundabout where we're at.
Okay. I am going to kind of, as they're looking at, he's showing this inventory to Wall, I'm going to lean down and just be kind of scratching on Skarsnik, and I'm going to kind of whisper to him, why don't you go and take a whiff of that casket, buddy? Because I don't think, unlike the police, that explosions happen to people quite frequently. That doesn't seem like a run of the mill. Oh, well, an explosion. It's happening all over.
As an aside, the young lawyer is obviously nervous, and does that kind of thing perk Skarsnik's interest, or?
Probably he's smelling the fear off of her, so giving him another task might be a good thing. Otherwise, he may slink off after her, and I would rather that not happen.
Okay, well, I mean, you're kind of you see where the Skarsnik wants to chase and kill, and taking a sniff at something that's been dead a few days or a week seems like a bit of a killjoy thing to do. So I think you might need to impose your will upon your good dog. So I think it's will versus will, but you are getting that bonus for it being well bound.
Okay. Oh, I get 5. My high is an 8. I've then got 7, 6, 5, 4. I still got 1 on him.
Yeah. So you should keep those dice up, because if there's a tie, it goes down to the next lowest.
Okay.
So anyway, so yeah, you got 1 on him. Okay. So yeah, he kind of growls, and his eyes glow a little bit red as she backs away and starts to turn, free and clear, or so she thought. And Skarsnik kind of stands up, and you're maybe is it a curt word, or is it a leash or something that gets him to heal?
I have the link with him, so I think that it's a fairly sharp thought of no, buddy, no.
Okay, so I guess his ears go down, and so instead he goes over to sniff at the bag of blood and guts in the casket as it's lowered into the ground. But yeah, I think yeah, it's got perception, right? As it's one of its abilities.
Perception, smell.
So that adds its power to whatever score is being employed for perception. Okay, so do you want to roll for Skarsnik? I
What
think
can I roll with?
you are rolling with
Is that lore, you think?
power, maybe?
So I'd be rolling power twice? Or
Yeah,
double power?
yeah. Double power. And I mean, it seems like a toughie, but not impossible. So I'm gonna put 4 as the 40-10 as the
Okay. I've got 2 9s.
Okay, I rolled a 10.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, whatever caused this, Skarsnik doesn't really find out anything that he can communicate with you, but
Gotcha.
in the background, I think whatever caused this knows what Skarsnik smells like.
Mm. Gotcha.
Sniffing too close to its victims. That's how demons roll.
Gotcha.
Okay. So so yeah, Adele, in terms of like looking over the list, is there anything specific that that Wall would be looking for, or is it just of general interest?
Oh, you muted.
Yeah, I did it again. Just of general interest, probably he's just sort of looking through the list. He is somewhat interested in like older tech, more from just a fanboy point of view that it's useful. But yeah, he'll probably look a little bit at least for anything custom, like anything where I forget the guy's name. Had hacked it, obviously, right? If that's on the list, if that's even mentioned in the itemization.
Yeah, so I guess you're for this guy Jim. His, I guess the people doing the inventory were probably not computer experts, but they have taken whatever barcodes or script off the items.
Gotcha.
And there's quite a few things that are like initial JM, so like Jim Stevenson, which would suggest like custom code that he had maybe put a sticker on, or
Gotcha.
some kind of customization that he had done himself.
So yeah, that'll totally pick his interest of like, oh, he maybe knew what he was doing and did some hardware hacking or something along those lines. Yeah, no, he'll definitely be interested in that.
Yeah,
and he'll bring it up to Darrow. What was your name? Brian?
Ramsey.
Character's name? Ramsey. He'll bring it up to Ramsey. He's like, oh, some of this might be and he'll sort of whisper it so the lawyer doesn't hear it. Some of this might be some of the prototypes for his hardware.
Yeah, I take every opportunity to kind of sell up just how amazing Jim was as a hardware hacker. So like, if there's anything on there that, I mean, I don't know, but if there's anything on there that piques Wall's interest, I want to get it. So I think actually, provided that I am confident that Blake will at least be on board to hear us pitch again to him later if need be, then I think we need to head down to pick up this stuff before anything happens to it.
Yeah, I certainly seem like I'm on board to work with you. Though, if I get even, I will try to angle like when I see Ramsey maybe do the press the flesh to say goodbye to people there. I would like to catch Wall for a second and, Wall, I don't know this guy's deal, but his partner just exploded. Are we going to ignore the fact his partner just exploded?
So he looked confused there for a second. I mean, we need money if we want to get this off the ground, and he's our link to money. It never even occurred to me he was involved. Do you honestly think that I mean, I don't see what the benefit would have been to him.
I don't know if he expected him.
As much as I want to get into business with him right now, he's kind of in free fall. Like you said, all his investors are jumping out, not in. I
say, well, I don't know that he exploded him. I'm just saying that someone exploding around one of us, and he certainly doesn't seem like he never mentions it, but you and I both know that shit don't happen just out of the blue.
I guess you're right. I'll be honest. I was so heartbroken over Charlene's death. It didn't even really occur to me to look into Jim's. But you're right. It's not exactly like that's a typical death outside of a video game.
I hope he laughs like that too.
On the other hand, maybe something we shouldn't ignore. Maybe we should be looking into this. If there's somebody out there hunting people close to our kind, maybe that's something we should be aware of.
Yeah, maybe if you're going to go over there with him and check out whatever this guy was working on, be careful.
I could maybe we could maybe you could come with us and you could poke around some of the non-technical stuff while we have access to the house.
That might be a good idea, because like I say, I don't think Ramsey, I mean, I'm not wrong, am I? And I'll give you like a really kind of deep look. You can tell too, right?
There's something going on there. I don't know why he's holding it so close to the vest, but yeah, there is.
All right, if he'll let me come, I'm a little worried about this.
What you do is I know you're not so much on the hardware side, so express interest in the way you want to see it, but then when you show up, realize it's boring to you and just wander around.
I think I can manage that pretty easy. So yeah, as we kind of get back towards you, Ramsey, if you don't mind, I mean, I'd love to come along too, but maybe we can brainstorm more on what the game's going to look like.
Absolutely. And Blake, I admire a man who understands that creativity can occur at any moment, and there's nothing like jarring the system with some bizarro electronics.
Absolutely. You driving, and do you mind a dog in your car? And I'll look over towards Scarson.
And what does the dog look like? Is it universal? Right? Like, do I see what you see, or is it morphed in some way?
No, it looks like a very large, long-haired black dog. I mean, he passes. So I mean, looking at him, he looks like a dog.
Yeah,
he's just big.
I just want to check everything right. Yeah, I think I don't think if I have encountered Scarsnake before, I think I've always kind of kept arm's length from him. But I think I actually will just kind of go to pet him, just slightly, like very gingerly, just as a way to show, oh yeah, I'm a dog lover myself. and I'm not, by the way.
Well, as long as you're not afraid, he probably won't. He likes to be scratched on.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good, and that pretty much convinces me that yeah, I'm gonna get some hair in the car, but I'll tolerate it if this is what it costs to get this company off the ground. All right, so yeah, I think we're on the way towards.
And Brian, just a question: at what stage do you or do the others realize that DM Mastis has been like standing around, eavesdropping, or mingling with all of these grieving people all along?
So once the priest says like his final thing, and they go ahead and lower the body into the ground, or the casket into the ground. The priest doesn't have anything more to do. Like he could have already left, but he's like milling around and like spends an inordinate amount of time like in our vicinity, like just going around and around in circles amongst us. And occasionally I hear like just little facts about the reality around us that I don't like. It sounds like it's in conversations beside me, but I can never quite pick up on it. And it just seems like a weird thing to say, like why chlorophyll in that tree works that way. But I do catch out of the corner of my eye his face kind of shift a little bit, and I think I'm just it's some of the pills I take in the morning. I attribute a lot of my problems to, but I do wonder if this is like the times before when I've had some issues, and if this priest is similar to what happened to my co-founder, a little bit off.
So, if the demon is gonna be coming with you, then that will require some kind of explanation. But if not,
well, so I think I mean I could be wrong here, because it's I don't know. I guess it might require that the mechanics be invoked, but like. I interpret the hopping as something that happens very routinely, and that he just normally, or she just normally leaves it pretty benignly. And I actually will say, we can go this or not go with this. I assumed that Hopsoft collapsed because DM jumped from my coworker violently and exploded him. That doesn't have to be how it actually turns out, but that's kind of what that came from. So if there's a better way to go with that, let's go with it. But what I'm saying is that I don't anticipate there being any problem with the priest becoming the guy next in the car next to us and being someone else. But that could be up to you.
Can I ask just a games rule thing, because I have played before. Just looking through everybody's demons, did I do power right? It is.
Take a look.
It's the highest, right?
Highest +1, isn't it?
No. Will is the highest +1 between stamina and lore, and then power is the highest. Basically, it'll be equal to will.
Yeah, I think yours looks correct based off that.
Yeah, yours.
No, I think mine's too high. My power equal to dice of high score. I'm up. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. My will. It is set for my will. Okay. And then I have abilities equal to my lore score.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So Donna, that's totally up to you. If you want, I can retcon that so that we actually have someone who doesn't require a hop. But
if you required so if there's the three of you go in the car, you need a fourth person in the car for the demon to jump in. So if you wanted to explain it, you can convince the young lawyer to come along.
Let's go back, and I'll just kind of nudge. I'm constantly nudging her aside as I try to manage this relationship, but I haven't dismissed her entirely.
Okay. So if I look at hop, okay, yeah, that's fine. I think though we'll need a roll. I think we're gonna use the demon's will against this young lawyer. So young and a little bit afraid. Let's give her a 2.
I'm rolling 4d10. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, 4d10. Yeah.
Oh, looks good. That's sort of good.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's a level 2 success. So that's pretty good. So the priest probably comes by and shakes your hand and says, thanks very much for coming by, Mr. Rowan. And I think the Dell and Tyler, your guys notice, the telltale of this demon, this kind of echoey voice effect that Ramsey appears to be completely oblivious to. And then he kind of, again, the lawyer just gets her hand shaken, and you see it just hop across.
Is it possible? I mean, do we know this is a bound demon? Do we see a connection between it and Ramsey?
Well, all demons. Well, I suppose demons can remain unbound for a very, very short amount of time. But yeah, I think your sense is that this is normal demon stuff. This is not a demon, you trying to seek out someone to bind it to this plane of reality.
Gotcha. But can we tell that it's Ramsey that's bound it, or is it?
Yeah.
Am I looking around going, "Who the fuck's got this demon here?"
Unless you think there's a fourth sorcerer in the room, right? I don't know. There's that. I guess I'll turn around the question. If you and Skarsnik were, vaguely near each other, would a sorcerer be able to tell that it was bound to you? Is that
That's a pretty neat fundamental question, I guess, for our magic. So I mean, I'll be more than happy to hear other people's opinions on it, but I think for another sorcerer, you probably can see a bit of that binding power if you're really if you concentrate and look at it. I don't know if casually it'd be apparent, but I think that if you're say this is a demon and kind of look, you could see it. What do y'all think?
Right. Yeah, my perception is that you can look, like even casually, you can look at a demon and see that it is bound, but you have to look closer to see who it's bound to.
Yeah. I also think that it could be a function of lore, actually. Like the further you're in, the more you see, right? Like kind of like you with your art, your visual arts, and Wall with his technology. And I happen to have a poor lore, so of course I'm not going to see anything.
So I think typically we might make it a lore rule, but actually I think because the demon is in physical contact with its sorcerer, I think you peg it straight away. Maybe it's just the delicious irony subtext dripping from its every word.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So yeah, the young lawyer, now possessed by a demon, gets into the car with you, and you drive to the house. Brian, do you want to? I guess you have probably spent most time here. I think to bring it all together, we might say that there's like a muse or some kind of a smaller cottage at the back of the house where his sister used to live. So I think that would mean that that Wall has kind of been here before and maybe not realized it. What's strange about the house that makes you think that there's, now that you know of his death, that there was something more about Jim than you thought?
Oh, you're asking me what?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, something about the house.
I'll actually say how disorganized it is. It's very eccentric. It's very slapdash. Like everything seems to not have a place. Maybe it did, but the Jim I knew, he very much like Waz, he would like have an entire circuit board laid out in such an optimized way that he couldn't possibly have done it without having a very organized mind. And this house looks like the house of a person who's on the edge of insanity. At least the rooms that, I don't know about the sister. She's in the cottage behind, but the house is not organized. It's very, very turbulent.
Del, what did you say the name of the sister was again?
Sherilyn.
Charlotte. Okay. And are you going to stick to the main house, or are you tempted at all to go into the cottage?
He's definitely tempted to go into the cottage if he can find a moment to slip away. I imagine he's maybe dropped her off or something here, but he's never actually been in her house. So he's borderline obsessive. So yeah, he's definitely interested in going in there if he can figure out a way, an excuse to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, the kind of main house, maybe some of the rooms that you look at are pretty neat and what you'd expect, but any of the busy rooms like the study or maybe even the living room are, absolutely manic in terms of how they're disorganized. There's document boxes stacked on top of each other, almost teetering. All of the books on the bookshelves have been kind of taken down so that their spine is facing down onto the shelf, and then some of them are just dumped alongside. And then there's the kind of, maybe there's a great big dining room table that is just covered with computer components, circuit boards, tapes, pretty much all of the inventory is there, and it's very haphazard. What you do get a sense of, kind of as soon as you regard the whole setup, is like an impression of it's definitely a sorceress impression or a demonic impression, like of fog and teeth and dark corners.
Oh.
And I think maybe Skarsnik, the hackles rise a little bit, right? Given a choice between fight or flight, it's never going to choose flight, but it's
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So sensing something is around here. And I'm guessing that Ramsey's just like blindly going right through, not paying that attention.
No, yeah, I think I'm very concerned about getting the inventory right and arranging with the young lawyer. And I am perturbed by the disparity between what I see and what the man I knew, but it's just, people have private lives.
Wall will like lock eyes with Blake, like with a sort of shocked, unsaid, totally not what I was expecting, both on the messy front and on the this house is apparently haunted front. Yeah.
And I think that Blake's probably also, kind of giving Wall this look, looking over at Ramsey, talking with this lawyer that we both know is his demon, and has this sort of like, what the sort of look to him. But as they're talking, I'll look at Walt. I'm gonna see if I could figure out a little of what the hell's been going on here. This guy was clearly messing with some stuff.
Yeah. Wall will just nod the sort of vigorously. while he heads over to the electronic equipment. And he sort of nods for you to just slip away while he's talking to the lawyer. Just vanish, sort of.
Okay. Donna, for doing light magics, if I were wanting to say, is it within the purview of what we can do for me to like see if I can figure out what's in here? How do you do magic in that?
Well, so like the flavor of the magic is completely up to you, but there are like several things that you need to do with a demon, and the first thing is to contact a demon. So that is that's expanding your mind to kind of see, to try to see where that demon is, find out what it's about. That is a lore roll versus the demon's power.
Okay. So I think for me, it looks like, I think if it were a more modern age, I would carry around a messenger bag, but since it's the 80s, it's a book bag, like a leather book bag. And I think, I kind of just reach in and I pull out a sketch pad and pull into my pocket and pull out, like, I have colored pencils. And so as I'm just kind of walking around, I'm almost like unconscious sketching. And that's what it looks like as I'm trying to see this demon. Something will come up in this picture as I'm drawing it, just sort of not even looking at it, more looking around as my hand goes.
I mean, you don't have to go this far. I just like the idea that it's not even like a pen. It's like a little edge of charcoal, and you're just kind of like almost like revealing its form. Very, very muddy, very just.
Yeah, I thought charcoal myself, so that's a cool idea. I thought that would be a neat idea too. So yeah. These kind of charcoal drawing.
The other thing that is useful is that in binding demons is like individual, but pretty much all the other ones can be done as a group. This is kind of one advantage to having a coven or a group of sorcerers. So the helper rolls as normal, and then any extra bonuses they get go on to the main person, and then a failure is no penalty at all. So that's definitely a way to help yourself out.
Okay, I don't know if Wall. It sounded like you weren't like paying enough attention that you would be helping me with this, but do you think that you are somehow?
Yeah, I could see. I could see that he's helping you in some way. Like his attention's a bit split because he's trying to draw attention away so that no one notices you walked off. And doing what you're doing. But yeah, I could see like he'll pull out his demon. He'll pull out Ozzy and set it on the table next to all the electronics. With the pretenses that he's going to hook up some of these electronics to Ozzy. Which he probably will actually do at some point. But he's also like doing his own investigation. Like he hooks up some of his custom sensor equipment to the back of it. Because that think more like a Ghost Hunter's approach to demonology, right? But with the 80s flair.
Awesome. All right then. So Donna, you say I roll lore to see if I can see it, +1 for the help.
No. So the person helping rolls as well, and basically, if they get any successes, that's added to yours, and if not, there's no penalty. So it's lore versus power. So I'm gonna tell you the demon's power is 6.
Okay, and you roll your lore, right?
Yeah, you roll your lore. Yeah.
I definitely need the help because I did terrible.
Okay, yeah. So you get 1 success, which is enough. So yeah, I think Del, why don't you describe kind of how the breakthrough of that help comes, and then I will kind of tell you how the demon's kind of communication manifests.
Right. How the breakthrough happens. So like you're trying to bind it via drawing, or what are we binding it or just studying it? We're binding
Just
it.
contacting us.
Yeah.
Contacting it. Okay. So what it looks like is you're trying to draw this thing, and you're sort of having a hard time. It's the lines aren't just coming the way that you want them to. Suddenly on his little tiny screen on Ozzy, a live picture of what you're drawing appears on his little screen, right? Like as you're drawing it, and he starts messing with it, like he's drawing on top of your drawing. And that transfers back to your piece of paper, and it looks a bit more digital, right? You know, like digital lines are starting to appear on your piece of paper. And it's forcing it to come in focus.
Excellent.
So yeah, I think when that kind of contact gets made, I think you both definitely kind of smell that sea fog, that heavy air with a stench of, you know, rotting seaweed and everything that gets left by the low tide. I think, Brian, you know, you're in the same room. Maybe you're busy. I think you get that sense as well. But maybe, I don't know. Do you try to write it off as just a strange memory, or hey, that Sierra is coming in early today, or whatever it is?
I think I think that the more coincidences that pile up in quick succession, the more I won't be able to fully justify each of them. And I mean, like, so already today, I've seen something. I mean, I've seen multiple people die in the last week or so. So like, it's getting to where like I just kind of like don't provide a justification for it, and I just kind of observe it and then move on to the next thing. And right now, it's easy because I'm dealing with this lawyer to figure out where these things are. So yeah. I noticed the sea, but I don't think about it.
Cool. So yeah, what's Tyler? I guess you're the primary on this. So what do you say to this thing you have just reached out to?
Demon, why are you here? Why are you still on this plane? You should be gone by now.
And its voice is sharp and dangerous. And it says, well, then we don't have much time. I've been waiting for quite a while for some enterprising young sorcerer to open the door.
Who bound you here? Why were you bound here?
I was never bound. I was merely summoned by someone who obviously didn't know what they were doing.
What is it you want, demon?
I want to be bound so that I can pursue endless opportunities.
This inside of my head, I'm thinking, this does not sound like something it is safe for me to try and screw with. I think I'm probably going to go and try and, now that I've made this contact and I'm off in my, in the other room, I'm going to kind of back towards Wall as he's messing with the computers. Wall, this thing here is unbound and I think pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think Wall gets roped into the demonic conversation, given that he was responsible for it really opening in the first point. And the demon says, "Of course I'm dangerous, Gregory. What other kind of demon would you want to bind to yourself?"
Yeah. I'm imagining like as he's talking, text is also coming across his little screen. And it's in a font the computer's not capable of. Just how dangerous are you? Did you have anything to do with Sherilyn?
Sherilyn? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not around that long.
You say you want to be bound. Would you be bound to one of us?
Well, I don't see any. Well, apart from that useful idiot in the corner, but
I actually walk over because I'm thinking that they're being creative right now. So I walk over and I kind of pick up the notebook from like, oh, I'm sure you've not got it out in your hands, do you? Do you have it like tucked away or anything?
No, I've got it. I probably since I was contact, I'm holding it.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I kind of just push my hand, so I kind of push the corner of it down so I can see it. I'm like, fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. I look over and Wall's got a screen of the Matrix going on. Essentially, I'm like, this is perfect. This is what I actually say as loud as I can. This is what happens when great minds meet. And then I'm gonna ignore the remainder of things happening.
Right. You think we're like working on dialogue, right? like what's on the screen?
Exactly.
So the Wall's confused by your short interruption.
Listen, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not saying I would be opposed to taking a young foolish sorcerer under my wing, but someone competent I'll accept either. I mean, we all lie to ourselves in one way, but I would prefer the lies to be somewhat palatable.
What was the name of the guy whose funeral we just came from?
Jim.
Jim. Did you kill Jim?
I didn't kill Jim. Jim, I don't know. His mental state didn't seem up to much. No, I didn't kill him.
But did he summon you?
Oh, he summoned me.
So he was a sorcerer.
Though I'm not sure if he took the right classes.
I'll give Wall a look like, oh dear, that our friend was a very foolish person.
He may have been working off the red box instead of the advanced manual.
I understand. The Wall will look over it at Blake. So he'll sort of motion with his hands. You or me. Do you think do you have what it takes to bind him?
If you feel like you want to do this, I'll stand protection for you, but and it's that torn thing from Blake, because I don't know if Blake sees his power as good or a curse, but there's something in him that just can't leave this potential power untapped. So it's one of us is gonna. He's willing to say you can have it if you want, sort of thing.
I feel like in this case, Wall's gonna jump on it because he has this. Despite the demon denying it, I think he had something to do. He's convinced that either Jim or the demon had something to do with Sherilyn's death. Whether that's true or not, he's convinced himself of it. And he's also convinced himself the demon is the key to learning more. Again, that may not actually be even remotely true, but I will take on the responsibility. I will risk it.
Be
I
careful.
believe. But what is your name, demon?
My name is Bay.
Bay. I believe you and Ozzy will get along splendidly. And he'll start typing up, and he starts bringing up some files, and like graphics start coming up of demon summoning circles. And remember, this is like a tiny screen on this thing, right? The portable machines were crap. But his summoning and binding and magic works almost entirely through computers. He does, like, under his breath, he's chanting just a bit. But that seems to be a minor part of his form of sorcery. And the speakers start making some weird noises. And he's gonna attempt to bind the demon.
And Skarsnicker and I are on point, just in case this goes terribly wrong. He explodes, and we have to do something about it.
That would be tragic, right? So, so you can basically, depending on when you bind a demon, you can, depending on the binding right, you can roll stamina, will, or lore, depending on whether it's physical or kind of psychological or completely based in the kind of occult rituals.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like it's lore, given that it's so technical.
Lore,
yeah. There's, with a binding, it's to you, so there's no kind of help that anyone else can do. But I'm wondering if there's anything specific based on kind of what you've learned about this demon so far that you're trying to cater your ritual directly to it.
I mean, based on who summoned it, maybe I could get some insight there. Because there's some presumption that whatever Jim wanted out of it is, the demon met that criteria. And us both being hardware tech geeks, maybe we wanted similar things. Or in fact similar personalities. So in that sense, he is trying to cater it. I am a worthy successor to Jim, where he lacked the knowledge to hold you. We do have goals in kind.
Yeah, you think, just based on maybe the kind of subtext when this demon is talking to you, that it really likes to, your kind of sense of what it's needing or what it's desiring, it likes a good tragedy, right? It likes the almost successful project, or the missed opportunity.
Okay.
So, if you can show it that you're willing to help it create those kind of missed opportunities, or to stop the opportunities from coming true, that would be worth a bonus, I think.
So yeah, like he would totally be on the board with, like, he thinks in the world of this modern tech boom and gaming, that's his whole world. So he thinks in terms of, like, interfering with other companies or developers' projects, so that his project can be the one to succeed, but two others fail in their place because he, like, stole their artwork or stole their design idea or something along those lines. He came to market first with two very different similar games, and he beat them to market, and they look like copycats as a result. That kind of thing.
Okay, so we'll give a bonus die for that. And then you're rolling against the demon's will, which is 6 based on the power. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let's clear. The
And remember, this roll is always successful. It's just determining the strength.
how
Who has the
successful
upper hand? Who has the upper hand
Right.
in this relationship? Okay, so okay, so that is I got a 10, and then it's all 8s all the way down. So that's a +1 for Bay. And its type of demon is a parasite. So it has to live inside someone. This could be you, which is usually traditional for a parasite to live inside the summoner or binder. Yeah, so
yeah, he'll probably go with inside him. The like I'm picturing something physical, like something literally crawls out of one of the ports of the computer. The like there's electric static charge, and it forms into something solid and crawls into his hand. And it hurts a little bit. He's like, oh, there's a bit of blood on the table.
I'm thinking, based on my description of what it felt like, that it's going to be like a small set of really sharp teeth that is kind of embedded inside your mouth, maybe on the roof of your mouth.
Right. So like crawls up his arm into his mouth. And he's like sort of afraid of it, but you can't stop it now. He's gone past the line. He can't. It forces its way into his mouth. I still like the idea of it hurts and blood trickles from his mouth. It's painful.
Yeah, I think your tongue is obviously used to being in a very certain place in your mouth, right? And now that space is occupied. You've got to pull it in a little bit. Be careful not to bite it whenever you close your mouth.
Sophia didn't have a hard enough time talking, but cool, awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so what is Brian? What is Ramsey up to right now?
He's watching this, and just this is probably the only thing that could keep him from speaking, because he's excited about the creative energies going on here. But I mean, like up to the point at which the thing crawls out of the socket, he's on board, and then he watches that happen, and like I'm convinced that my meds are off. But this is the point. I think this is the point at which, when I look back on this in a couple hours, couple days time, I'm going to say, yeah, that was the point at which I couldn't justify it anymore. But aside from that, I'm pretty silent. Maybe this is just a hallucination.
I think maybe to push you over the edge a little bit, DM is there in the body of this young lawyer.
Yeah.
And she puts her hand around your elbow and kind of almost leans into you very intimately and kind of whispers at you, I love this bit.
It does, I admit, seem a little bit strange for a lawyer to take that tact. Yeah. I'm going to like very forcefully, Jim Acosta style, just apparently knock her aside. And I'm gonna kind of go up against the wall. I've got to cut my hands up defensively. And again, I'm not speaking yet, because I'm just praying that this is all actually how people do modern video entertainment. But there's something wrong, and I'm having to wrestle with my inner demons.
Yeah, and I think she stands right next to you, in front of you, and kind of leans into you, and she blinks, and then her eyes are the priest's, and she blinks again, and they're Jim's eyes, and she blinks again, and it's like the pizza boy from 3 weeks ago, or from every night, probably. A text.
Too many nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. At this point, I ask, what are you?
Ramsey, I thought you'd never ask. I was wondering, how long are you going to just be there in front of me and not notice me? It's so infuriating.
And I look over towards Wall, who's probably adjusting his mouth. I say, "Well, have you drugged me? What is this, a hallucination? What's going on?"
I've only drugged you with the most amazing power known to humanity. Sorcery.
No,
Demons.
no, no. Look, sorcery was my inroads to tech. It's in. I actually pulled out the book because I've got it with me all the time. It's real torn over. It's one of the paperbacks from before they got good at the design. I'm saying this is just a game. I'm playing bigger games now. What is this? What are you on to me?
I don't know. I mean, should we try to get you out of my life? That seems so unfair. All you have to do is, believe in yourself, and I'll do whatever you want.
I look over again, and I'm gonna look at Wall because I think he's right on the bridge for this. Because I haven't seen Blake do anything exceptionally weird, but I don't know this lawyer, and I know Wall. So Wall did something weird. Maybe he can describe to me the two worlds. I say, Wall, tell me I'm dreaming.
I'm trying to figure out how Wall would word it. Like in this moment, there's a bit of exultation as he has just absorbed this new demon, like the power he feels suddenly, in connection with it. So suddenly he's in a different headspace than he normally is. He's a bit more confident. Than he normally would be. It's a dream. I fail to see why that makes it any less important, though. Or any less real.
And he speaks way more fluidly than he normally does.
Right. Like suddenly, like his stuttering and sort of half talking is gone. Right. Yeah. One of his telltale is that when he's not focusing on it, his voice is rather demonic. And that he's not holding that back in the slightest at the moment. So it's coming with this sort of reverb, growly demon voice. If you handle this right, anything you dream will become reality.
And that's speaking my language. And so I look over at Blake and I say, "You're in on this too? Is this your path?"
Blake's kind of grinning and got this sort of somebody's kissed Sleeping Beauty sort of thing of, yeah, Ramsey, you've been doing it for a while, buddy.
I kind of do like a 1-over on myself, and kind of get like the 1,000-yard stare, and I say, I guess I have, but like I just thought that was how I thought that's how everyone had it. I thought that's what it meant to be successful. And then I look at this lawyer in front of me. I say, I know less, but I feel like I know you more. What are you?
Your friends are right. You summoned me from your warped dreams to get me to do your bidding. And that's what I'm happy to do. But you have to meet a girl halfway.
I think I see. So what just happened here? What is Jim in on this? What is that thing in your mouth?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking over at Wall, and I probably put a hand on your shoulder, Wall, and you okay?
He smiles broadly. I am wonderful. Again, this is very out of character for him. This will wear off as he gets more used to the demon, but for the moment he's like riding the power wave. Um the Yes, Jim was involved. And I'm not convinced he wasn't involved with Sherilyn either. But he lacked the skill to control it. And left it open for me to take it after his death.
Which may explain the big boom.
The Bay swears he was not involved in that. But and he'll look at the lawyer. Demons sometimes obfuscate the truth.
And I will be given a close kind of look to make sure that it looks like Wall hasn't been taken over. I have to believe there are horrible dangers to summoning these demons, so I'm trying to give that look to make sure.
Especially a second one. That can't be safe to be bound to two at once.
So seeing, I suppose, can I see he's in control of it?
I mean, I think you can probably do some kind of lore check to ascertain, or at least you can do some sort of fictional thing to satisfy yourself that he is still in control, right? So there's some kind of sketchy ritual that you can do to see that a demon is still bound. But yeah, I think given that it's inside him, it's probably a bit harder to tell than the usual way. But yeah, I think after 5 or 10 minutes or however long it'll take you, you're, maybe happy is the wrong word, but you're satisfied that that he's in control. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm probably, being satisfied. I'm going to keep an eye on Wall, but I feel confident that he's not fixing to go all demonic and kill us all.
I think my mind's racing, and I would probably have too many questions that could be asked right now. But I do ask, if I'm following you, you just bound or ate something that is living, that's going to give you power. Is that right?
Yeah. That is the idea, yes. And he's controlling the demon voice part of it a little bit more, but he does have a little bit of a lisp from trying to keep his tongue in the right place.
And what does it get in return?
The demons, like anybody, have goals. It has things it wants done in the world that it can't do without one such as us. It is a delicate balance of give and take. We give it a bit of what it wants, and in exchange, it gives it a bit of what we want.
Well, if this was in Jim, and I think I'm following that right, then it sounds like we have the A-team coming back together. And I don't know what you, and I look at the lawyer, want exactly. I have some ideas, and I don't know what that thing in your mouth wants. But if they want to make a lot of fucking money, I think we have a good shot at that right now. I'm in. I'm in, boys.
I mean, Ramsey seems utterly demonic in his fixation with his needs and desires. It's perfect. Okay, that seems to me like a really good place to leave it for tomorrow. So yeah, unless anyone has any ideas right now of where they want to take it, then I can sleep on it, and we can get back into it tomorrow.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Okay. So yeah, I will stop the broadcast, and then we can have a quick debrief and leave it there.